All right. So, Marcus, I've got a great question for you.
A great question.
You're going to like it.
Am I?
Yeah. What is the beauty of paid advertising?
This is actually a beautiful question.
Yeah.
I think everything in marketing needs to be measurable, right? I mean, that's the key. You can't, what you measure, you can improve. You don't measure it, you can't improve it. Paid is measurable. You know, it's through the metric of pay per click, generally speaking. As there's only three numbers that matter in digital marketing: your cost per acquisition, so how much you want to pay for a customer, cost per click to get someone to a website, and the conversion rate required in the funnel. That's it. You've got those three numbers you can forecast, which means you can take the risk out of marketing, which is our why. That's why it's a beautiful thing. I actually also want to sort of challenge the organic types, both social and search.
Uh-oh.
You guys can also work on a cost per click basis.
Yeah.
How do you do that, I might be wondering? Well, they've got
I was about to ask.
How do you do that?
How do you?
SEO, okay. There's lovely SEO agencies out there going, pay me £5,000 a month and I will build links and organic traffic will go up.
Yeah.
But it's measured on but if there's an uplift to organic traffic, you've paid £5,000 for 1 month's work. What's the uplift? 5,000 new organic visitors for increased rankings.
Right.
Brilliant. That's £1 a click.
Yeah.
Perfect, you can do that. Here's the problem. They won't be able to do it month on month. So your £5,000 a month retainer starts looking pretty shit. And I think actually if you put everything through the metric of cost per click, you compare apples to apples. And that's why more people should put more money into paid. And SEO agencies should be a little bit honest and say, maybe we didn't build any links this month. You didn't give me £5,000. Maybe the traffic would just stay where it is, or maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down. It's like the markets when SEO traffic goes up. That was down to us, we're fucking brilliant. When it goes down, Penguin Man or new Google algorithm, and it's just like, look, you can't have it both ways, guys. So social media, all organic, everything should be measured through the metric of CPC, and that's why I like it.
And then you apportion budgets appropriately.
Yeah, well,
so it's not just measure it all and then just put all the money into search, paid search.
Well, no, exactly.
It's measure it all and then put the money where the conversion metric is.
I employ SEOs, but I say it's got to be a business case for search engine optimization. I look at through the metrics that paid gives us. That's the beauty of paid. Click-through rate, right? Being number one in Google, click-through rate's about 30%. Okay, so you know how much traffic you're going to be getting. You can use the keyword planner. Being number one, click-through rate 30%. Here's how much traffic I've got. If you run paid ads to that, you've tested that traffic from that keyword. You know the conversion rate. So you can forecast, actually, if I get you from 10th, where you're getting a 1% click-through rate, to first, a 30% click-through rate, this is what you'll get. But then you also need to scope out the work. It will require 20 backlinks, better on-page SEO. How do you know what it will require? We do a gap analysis, the guys who are first. But SEO people, I want to get on stage of writing SEO, but they don't want me at the minute. I want to stand up and say that and say, guys, let's be transparent. Let's actually make a business case. But they don't want me to do that because the people that own big SEO agencies have got lots of staff and lots of mouths to feed. So they need to keep their $5-10 a month retainers going to create more backlinks and more content. But it's not transparent, and it's giving the marketing industry a bad name, quite frankly. But paid gives us the metrics and the tools to be able to shine a light on some of the less profitable things, such as SEO and social. That isn't me slagging you guys off today.
No.
Without you guys, paid is heartless and all the rest of it. But,
I actually think paid has not just from a conversion point of view. I actually think it has a bigger part on brand than we give it credit for. I think you can test creative through paid to see whether or not it works.
Exactly.
Whether the message, whether the image, whether the logo, the color schemes work, and you can iterate through paid and understand where, or use that wonderful word that you love every single day, I bet you do, optimize the creative accordingly. And I think you can actually shape brands off the back of paid and creative media. You see what I did there, right?
Yeah, you're putting yourself in
there. You go. What can I do?
But you need both.
You need both to live.
Yeah, I mean that's why I love marketing, right? Because it is data science, but you also need the art, the creative to actually sell. You need to press people's buttons and take the next step. Marketing's about selling the next step. Draw out the funnel, push them down there. Content will do that. The problem with content marketing, when it became a buzzword, everyone created cool content, like, cool, this will go viral, right? Now we've got to market it. Fuck. Well, how do we do that? I don't know. The way to actually do content marketing, like you said, is draw out a marketing strategy first. That determines the content to shove people down the funnel.
Yeah, and as I said before, paid advertising is a perfect complement to content marketing strategy.
Exactly.
Because one of the key elements, obviously, is promoting. How do you get eyes on that content? How do you promote it? How do you bring people into the funnel? And one way to do that is through paid advertising.
I mean, ironically, link building stemmed from paying bloggers to write about content which at the end of the day, it's not organic anymore. You're paying someone.
Exactly.
So if you put it into layman's terms, it means exactly that.
That's pretty much
You're doing paid advertising.
Paid advertising.
One thing I want to say that's being really it's undervalued, and I think you can do so much more of it, is remarketing and retargeting.
Yeah.
So actually, you can get all your best content, because take Google remarketing, right? Do you know how long you can follow people for?
90 days.
No, 540. That's a year and a half you can stalk them. Now, if you stalk them with a crappy banner ad with your logo saying, hey, we're here, we're still here, that's going to piss people off. If you follow them around with amazing thought leadership content, wow, what does that do? What we're doing in the B2B space is finding people on LinkedIn, those job titles of very influential people who are my clients' target market, getting them to come to a landing page. They don't interact with the content the first time around, that's fine. We will then follow them for the next year and a half with really great content, and that's not just banner ads, right?
Yeah.
That's YouTube in-stream videos, that's Twitter, all the rest of it. But the trick is I always want to keep them on the merry-go-round. So I want them to click on that content. Guess what? Added on for another 540 days. They're never leaving. They're always thinking about you, and it's a bit less intrusive than smashing up an email list.
That's why I see fountain partnership ads every day, pretty much, whenever I go into different. It's always there.
Yeah,
you too.
I'm always thinking about Marcus though.
Yeah,
that's great.
Not really fountain.
Just Marcus.
That's the videos.
That should be a campaign. More Marcus.
No, I want less Marcus. I'm fed up of being the face of Fountain now. I want to so we're creating lots of videos of all of my lovely team, and then they can follow people around. But it's that thing, you stay front of mind, and because it's pay per click, it costs bugger all. Like that remarketing, our list is about maybe 12,000. Maybe they see our ads 100,000 times a month. That probably costs us about 300 quid. It's absolutely nothing. Right, but I'm staying front of mind for you, so much so that I'm sitting here right now, because probably if I didn't remarket to you, you might have forgotten about me and gone like, oh well, there's other digital marketing agencies out there. Someone I spoke to more recently, better looking, can grow a beard, those sort of things. So
I like a clean-shaven guy.
I think in terms of scalability and measurability,
That's why you're both here.
Paid is beautiful. You can't grow a beard either, can you? I just realised.
Neither can I.
I go beard actually.
Do that.
Nice.
Sorry.
You're the one out, comrades.
I just wanted to be the one
Hairy brigade
with
over
the
here.
best stubble here, so that's why I invited you.
But yeah, look, ultimately, when we talk about lots of creative stuff in marketing, I'm a bit cynical here. We're just glorified salespeople. We've got to deliver ROI to our clients. Paid is great because it's measurable, we can improve it, and we can forecast. That's the big thing. Like most people in marketing don't do forecasting. They're like, oh yeah, I call it faith-based marketing. It's like, yeah, I reckon we get you good return on investment. You reckon? Well, what the fuck does that mean? Like, yeah, I've done some great stuff for other people. Look at my trophy cabinet. I've won some great RAR awards. Okay, but actually, look, we're doing digital, right? So I know if I spend 100 grand on AdWords, it's £1 a click, that's 100,000 clicks. What's the current conversion rate? And does that fit in with the CPA? Like, you can do all that, but they're lazy bastards. They won't do it, which is why we've got a bad rep, unfortunately. I used to go around. I did a talk a couple of years ago, and I used to get on the stage, and I thought I'd warm the crowd up by playing a word association game. I'd say, right, say the first thing that comes to mind. I show a picture of cat, and they shout out dog and salt, and they say pepper. Then I have one word, and it says marketing agencies. Everyone's like, boo, fuck you. And it's like, wow. So I was like, okay, guys, let's take a look at this. Why is it that you're treating me like I'm a politician or a banker? I said, look, okay, show of hands, who here's lost money with a marketing agency? Everyone puts their hand up. This is a room full of business owners. I said, well, there you go. It's my mission to stop that. I want to take the risk out of marketing. That's Marcus Hemsley, Fountain Partnership. So I began.
I know that.
But you were a politician there as well.
Oh God, you know what? Anyone's watching this going, I thought this guy's okay. Now they're like, right, start trolling,
That's the next round table.
Yeah, we were talking politics earlier on, various rags people read.
So who do you, I know that you, because we talked to you before, and you will turn, because obviously you forecast, so you will turn business down. Who do you turn down and why? And what do you say to them? Do you say, that's you've got no hope? Or do you suggest other routes? Do you suggest that they...
So I last looked at it was about 60% of people we do turn away. Because when we first pick up the phone to them, we say, look, what does success look like to you? How many customers do you want? How much do you want to pay for them? Get their cost per acquisition. We then quickly look at the cost per click. And if the conversion rate required is too high, so say someone's like, oh yeah, I want to pay 10 quid for a new customer, and the cost per click is £3, it's like, you need a 33% conversion rate. I said, look, digital marketing isn't for you. How are you currently making money? Oh, I'm selling stuff on Amazon and eBay, and that's got, I pay them a commission fee. You need to look at scaling that up then. You know, I mean, like, take Gary Vee. I'm going to slag off Gary Vee a little bit. I love some of his videos, but he's a little bit of a fluff monster. He's like, everyone should be doing this and doing that, and great ideas. But I look at the numbers, actually. For a lot of SMEs, for a lot of startups, a lot of kids in their bedroom he's speaking to, actually the numbers don't fucking stack up, right? Know how much what your cost per acquisition is, not what the cost per click. And then if the conversion rate required is too high, and to be honest, the average conversion rate on the internet's 2%.
Yeah.
You know, like anything above sort of 6 or 7. Like, especially e-commerce as well, a lot of kids selling stuff on e-commerce, like,
Not gonna happen.
yeah, it's more than like 1 or 2%, it's not gonna fucking happen. So don't set up that company, right?
Yeah.
You know, go for high ticket items, you know, like relatively good margins, that's the sort of thing
customer lifetime value that will...
And do more of what's working already, right? You're in business now because something's worked. Just do a bit more of that. That's the thing I said to you earlier on. Like, actually, it's the boring stuff. It's reselling to your current database. Like, who are your current customers? It's easier to upsell to them. What's your current sales process if it's not e-com? Actually, well, we close 1 in 4 leads that come in. Cool, get it to 1 in 2. That's much better. So I kind of give them that sort of advice. But the basic stuff probably most people can do, which is cheap, is the remarketing. I'm going to bang on about remarketing, and hopefully GDPR won't smash it up too much. But that's the thing.
I always find it interesting when clients come over and they say, I'm thinking about doing some paid advertising, whether it's social or PPC, whatever it is. And you go, okay, fine. Obviously, they want sales, that wonderful euphoric term of sales.
Yes.
But then they tell you your budget, their budget for you.
Right.
And it's usually a case where it's really, really small. And you sort of have to re-explain to them, I guess.
Yeah.
It's what you put in is what you get out.
Yes.
And if you don't consider investing properly into paid advertising, you're not going to get the benefits, or not always going to get the better benefits, as it were.
That's what I said is the outcome. I got fed up saying what's your marketing budget. It's the wrong way of looking at it. You know, begin with the end in mind. How many customers? You don't really want pay-per-click. You don't want SEO. What you want is more customers. How many customers do you want? How much do you want to pay for those customers? You multiply that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you've got a marketing budget, and it's normally about 4 times what they had in mind. Well, what was your marketing budget based on? That's what the board signed off. Okay, but you want to pay for an outcome. Oh. Because in their mind, marketing's still this sort of thing on the side that let's chuck a bit of money at some advertising and hope for the best. And actually, we're in 2018 now.
Yeah.
You know, it's digital. We can track everything and forecast. So let's do that.
Yeah.
And it's a much better way of looking at it. And that's how we get around that discussion. And then if they don't want to have that, go, oh, well, I don't want to pay that much money. Okay, but you're buying an outcome. Like, we'll fit our management fees in with the media spend. You don't care how much money you give Fountain or Google. You just want an outcome, right? Yeah. And then we'll forecast, and we'll only take people on we back people that are going to win, basically. You know.
We talked a lot about B2B and B2C, and I guess one of the benefits of B2B is often, well, I guess if for us we're offering a service where the customer lifetime value can be huge. So would you say that, you know, investing in paid advertising works better for B2B, or, you know, from your experience?
I mean, we've got clients who are quite big. We've got big retailers. We've got Roman Originals as one. We've got one called Roseland Furniture, which are a challenger to Cotswold. So retail's a completely different beast. I mean, I feel sorry for retailers. They lose money for 9 months of the year, and this time of year they've got to make it all back and stuff. Yeah. But, you know, paid works for those guys. You know, the CPCs tend to be lower. I mean, that's the beauty of paid as well. It's done by bidding, right? The market decides. So if someone's paying that much for a click and they're getting return on investment, then they've got a better conversion rate, they've got a better offering, and that's why I think conversion's king. You've got the highest converting website, you can buy all the traffic, and that's why I say start with conversion rather than dicking around with click-through rate of ads. That's the core.
That's why you need good copywriters.
You need great copywriter, you need supported by an amazing brand, and you need a whole social and media strategy. It's true. That's
the bolt-on.
It's not the bolt-on, but it isn't. But you need it all, and if you have that, you will take market share. And I think that's the thing. I like what you said on comment about looking at their competitors, because I show people, look, here's all your competitors, right? If I'm going into the ecosystem of, like, you know, running Google ads up against these guys, and I'm clicking, pretending to be a user, their website smashes the shit out of yours. Like, what do you we're not going to send traffic to it until you sort that out, until you get a decent brand, a decent voice, some great copy. All of it needs to work together. But you need to invest in it. But it needs to be a business case for doing that, right? So, you know, if we do all of this, all 4 of us will come together. We'll price up our services, but we'll do it in a performance model, i.e., based on how many customers you're going to get, and
performance-driven.
And forecast it up front. That's how that's how I think marketing should be done. That's my mission, to say, actually, we can forecast now. Like, my dream is that in like 10, 20 years' time, someone says, oh yeah, okay, I want to acquire this more customers through digital marketing. Okay, let's go to some software that will forecast very accurately what's going to occur. assuming you hit these various conversion rates, which should be tenable. So.
And then there'll be no need for any of us.
No.
It'll be,
but I don't agree with that, man. I think actually there's still that human element. Like automation's bringing in the boring stuff of pay-per-click. You know, some stuff my guys do, like which is really monotonous, spreadsheet-driven. Like the stuff that humans don't like doing, machines should do. That's the automation. You know, like machines love things like I want to calculate like a massive number, 5 times 5 million square root, blah, blah, blah. Like a machine will love that, a human doesn't. But talking about why a vampire film really moved you, or why like it's really funny that Mitt Romney's wife went like that, Barack Obama's wife went like that, and Durex, like humans get that, and I don't think machines are anywhere near seeing why that's funny.
I think that's the science art side of things.
Exactly.
Well, so the case again, you know, you're talking to a human at the end of the screen. You're not. You can have as much automation as you possibly want, and it might help reduce the time factor of planning and organising certain things. But at the end of the process, you're trying to convert someone who has their own mind, and without that sort of essence of consumer behaviour, or whether it's sort of looking back to look forward, needs a person at the other end of the computer to be able to establish that.
Precisely, and that's where it's important. Like where automation comes in well, we write scripts for Google ads for our e-commerce clients when it's out of stock. You know, it will tell Google to stop firing those ads.
Yeah.
You know, if you're selling like, 10,000 products, that's not a job for a human to be doing. It's not a good use of their time. That's what machines should be doing. In terms of writing the ad copy that's going to appeal to Jane who reads The Guardian, who's 55, no script's going to be able to do that. You know, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
And I think humans, I think this is where we can, again, to use the cliche, think outside the box in terms of how to pull people in. And I think the same with choosing the right keywords for PPC as for content marketing. Google will, for example, Google AdWords tool will generate a bunch of keywords that are related, but in some cases you can think of other avenues to get people's attention.
To that point, exactly, through PPC, the greatest example is compare the meerkat, compare the market. It stemmed from PPC ad copy or PPC bid keyword terms. No one bids on meerkat for a comparison, price comparison site. So some ingenious, planner or strategist or a media buyer thought about the fact that actually meerkat market has a sort of sound related. If you spoke meerkat with a Russian accent, it sounds like market, and that's how.
That was me.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I knew that there was something familiar about you with your accent. And
the meerkat.
Compare the meerkat. Compare the meerkat.com. Compare the market.com. Simple.
We've got into the impressions around now.
Well, it's the time of the day for impressions. Right,
it's past 4 o'clock, as Frank would say to me. Whenever that happens, then I start to shift.
You've done the Durex. Now you're on to
I've done it. Compare the meerkat. But I find that really interesting because that's where I find creative has a part to play in something. And I hate to say it, you might shoot me from across the room, but mundane, like PPC ad copy, is not as sexy as, let's say, a brand campaign. But it can be. But it can be. But I said it because that's what probably the everyday Joe Blogs thinks. But actually, when you look at it from the compare the market example, it's really interesting because it actually shaped the entire brand strategy for an entire company. From PPC. Okay,
so the answer to that, the truth is, anything that's sexy is making money and making profit. So it's all subjective. Like, we run a controlled experiment. You can have sexy branding ad copy or mundane. Like, I don't mind if my mundane guys lose, but if we run an A/B split
and
test,
you see the results.
That's all I really care about. Is ultimately, it's
more the process of where people see. You see an ad copy versus, let's say, a video as an example. But I find it really interesting when PPC can, or something like a paid activity can actually impact so much a brand world that it actually forms the foundation of everything that they do.
It's cool,
I don't think people realise that enough.
Yes.
And I think you can win through other avenues. So you could go down an obvious route of, let's say we're a copywriting agency, so we can look at all the keywords related to copywriting agency and split test and but then there might be the human element, I think, and the creative side is thinking there might be people searching for kind of branding related things and trying to bring them in via that route. Not saying that you should avoid going down the obvious route, and you definitely should, but I think in some cases you can connect and bring in a wider audience than just the specific thing that you offer, and that's where you can kind of be creative, more creative perhaps than Google at the moment.
It's
isn't it,
insight
in a
to
way?
inform idea, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's not just idea of, finger in the air kind of attitude. It's the information has to inform something in order to add that extra value.
It's why my staff aren't going to lose their jobs. They get worried because we're working with the University of Edinburgh and their PhD department for machine learning. They're like, oh God, you're trying to replace us all. I'm speaking to Albert AI, and it's like, no. Like the software that my guys are working on in the University of Edinburgh, it watches session data, right? Because there's no point like my guys billing out £100 an hour to watch recordings for conversion of people interacting with a website and finding why people are dropping off. That should be automated. They don't really enjoy it. Someone said to me, why don't you just outsource that to the Philippines? Well, I could do, and there's ethical issues and all the rest of it, but ultimately that's going to be replaced by a machine. But like you said, that insight, that lateral thinking of copywriting agency, fine, a computer can spit that one out, but actually someone looking for a branding or some really interesting long tail keywords, and that's where that's where outbound and blogs, and that's why I don't think we're going to lose our jobs anytime soon, guys, off the back of it. And even if we do, then we can just all be strategic consultants, because a lot of people don't do marketing
I can be the
well.
Queen of England for if I lose my job,
I don't think it works like that.
No.
Sure
I got plans. I got plans.
That's fine.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Do you think paid advertising is becoming too intrusive in some ways?
I don't care. That's what I say to them. No, literally. All I care about is the bottom line. And if we have debates whether we should do remarketing. People are like, oh no, don't. Maybe let's stop it after 30 days. And it's like, who said like you started remarketing to me now? Oh, they stopped after 30 days. Like, okay, I'm going to go and buy from them now. Basically, I run controlled experiments, and if I'm being too intrusive, fine, I'll dial it back. But I'll keep pushing that envelope, and it makes some of my guys a bit uncomfortable. They're like, "Oh, I wouldn't like that," and I always hit them over the head and say, market research sample, not literally, because they don't.
I can so see that in a client meeting.
No, but it's that whole thing. We talked about this earlier on. Like, I wouldn't do that. Well, market research sample of one, load of bullshit, put it to one side. So let's use the data, run controlled experiments. It's becoming intrusive. Guess what? You can clear your cookies, you can get ad blockers. It's a free world. If you can't be asked to learn how to do that, then you deserve to be marketed hard too. And and I say marketing hard, but I don't like that. Push back. Fine, but I'm serving you with content you've shown interest in, with ad copy that presses on your needs and solves your problems. No one's making you buy, and I'm just going to keep running experiments to keep dialing it up for my clients, because that's what I want to do.
I think again, and I keep saying it comes back to like if you have a bit of an inboundy approach, a bit of a value-driven approach, it makes a difference. Because I read this article recently by Mark Schaefer, and he was talking about how technology in every other industry is advancing the world and making things better, but in his industry, marketing, it's just becoming increasingly annoying. That was his point. That was the basis of this article, and in some ways, the way that now in Facebook Messenger you get these kind of clickbaity things cropping up. That's annoying, and it's suddenly it's intrusive, but. That's my argument is that's the marketers that are doing it. That's that when you click through, they're not giving you any value. If something came through that was perfectly tuned in with what I wanted and needed at that point, then that's great, and that's great marketing. And as you said, you can avoid it. And if it's not too aggressive, my wife Nitsan always talks about how she gets now in Facebook these awesome. She loves like vintage 50s style dresses, and she just gets these ads for like amazing dresses all the time from these different kind of boutique stores that she loves, just because she's had some good marketing on her, and she would never have found them.
Dildos.
Okay. Here he goes.
Back to
That's why you keep getting. It's based on your interest.
That's the thing. If your wife doesn't like it, or if you don't like the dildos, right, you can just clear your cookies. You don't have to have it. And it's the thing of like, I don't like Facebook ads. Guess what? You didn't pay for Facebook. This is how you're paying. You're surrendering your data. You are the product, right? Same with Google. Sign out. Clear your cookies. You can be empowered. You're like, I don't. Some people don't know. Okay, open up Google and say, how do I stop being followed by this? Like, you get Gmail for free. You get Facebook for free. What that means is we get to market our clients' products and services to you. Don't like it, don't play the game, switch off. It's probably more healthy for you anyway to go on a digital detox, but don't come whinging to me.
I remember a campaign that we ran.
All right.
It's true.
Switch off. I remember a campaign we ran for an energy client a while ago. For social, but we also did sort of display and PPC advertising for them on the side. And they were sort of the underdog. It didn't have the reach, didn't have the media spend to go after the big six. And so we thought about the reactive planning idea, the Durex example that I gave you earlier. In a way, again, from an energy point of view, it's not a sexy thing to necessarily market, but there are ways of getting around it. So we created this reactive planning template where we sort of knew that there were certain moments within the calendar, within a specific period of time, that people would be talking about certain things, from social listening and from understanding what the sort of the environment looked like. And when things cropped up, we were able to sort of retarget them with a real-time bidding activity through Twitter and Facebook, and then using the metrics off the back of that to then apply to content, to the display, and so on and so forth. But what we saw was what we were tapping into moments of association with the brand through these reactive activities and through targeted campaigns that were going to get them the exposure that they needed, that we had people seeing the ad, seeing a conversation, seeing the ad, and then switching to that brand off the back of it, which is exactly what you want. So it's performance-driven creative. So, you know, we had people saying, "Oh, I've just seen the ad from X." I think we targeted all their competitors, in all the forums where people have a complete bitch fest at energy suppliers, and we saw people complaining about their energy providers. So we targeted them with an ad, and said, "We hear that you're, unhappy with your energy provider. Feel, come to us," kind of thing. But in the sense that, we actually tailored the copy to match what they were bitching about.
And if your energy provider is actually offering them a better service, you're solving a problem for them.
And we saw conversation spike, and we saw people directly responding to the ad.
So the intrusivity is useful, and I think the people that get really upset about it, they're getting upset about their thoughts about, "Oh, I don't like people following me or looking at me or whatever," and it's like, well, then get off the internet. There's nothing bad that's happening to you. Like, statistically, you're more likely to die in a car crash, cancer. There's some serious things that you can probably improve in your life. Have a better diet. Don't drink, drive. Like, actually worry about things that are actually going to impact you physically, but stop working yourself up about, "Oh, I don't like the fact people following me," or, "Oh, they're marketing to me because I'm whinging about my energy supply. I don't like that." Okay, then check out.
Just go and meet people in person and whinge about it in person.
But then weirdly on the other side of that, they love the idea of the kind of the fame aspect of a brand actually having a conversation with them, because they feel like it's sort of almost elevated them slightly, that they have this direct dialogue or conversation with someone.
Because they're quite sad, because nobody talks to them.
No one talks to them. They have issues.
We're painting these horrible people that don't like the internet.
Can you relate? Because it feels like you're...
I'm quite sad.
Come on.
I feel like you're welling up.
Should we have a group hug, or would that be weird?
Maybe at the end.
Not that I haven't been drinking beer yet.
Something kumbaya at the end of the session.